Hi folks, welcome to Schewe Library's video on introductory Google searching techniques. Now Google is a tool that I'm sure most of you use countless times throughout the day, both in your personal life and potentially in your academic life as well. And this video is going to give you some specialized searching techniques that will help you find material that is appropriate for example, your research papers, your presentations, your speeches, all that sort of stuff. So let's get started on our first searching trick. Typically, when you do a search in Google, it's going to find you a variety of types of websites, including things like commercial websites that end in .com, organization websites that end in .org. Sometimes you get government websites, educational websites, all that sort of stuff. And that's great. But when you're doing academic research, sometimes it's very important to get only particular types of sites. So let's do a little search here. Car crashes statistics. So you just want to get some data on what's going on with car crashes. And you can see when we roll down this list here, we've got a variety of different types of sites. We have a .com, we have a .org. Further on, we're going to get another .org with a Wikipedia there. Now, one of the great things about the trick I'm going to show you here is that it allows Google to isolate only a certain type of website. And in this case, we're going to isolate only government websites. And you do that by using this cite::gov command. And you just do it all in one, no spaces. And what this is telling Google is that I only want you to return me sites which are published or written by the government. And the idea behind this is that these websites will be very reliable, very trustworthy, and you can always use the data without worrying about its validity. Now, another type of website you might want to isolate are educational websites, those from colleges or universities. And just like as we did with the government, we did cite::gov. For educational websites, we do cite::edu. And again, these are going to give us websites which are really safe and really reliable for our research. So I hope that first trick was helpful. Now, the next trick we're going to talk about involves isolating not a particular type of website, but a particular type of document. So again, when you do a standard search on Google, you'll get all sorts of material types returned to you. You'll get websites, you get blogs, you get some data statistics, you might get some video, you might even get some audio. But when you're doing academic research, oftentimes you're going to want to get a certain type of document, and that document is a PDF. So let's do a little example here. Alligator breeding. We want to know about sort of the reproduction cycle of alligators or whatever it is. And when we do a standard Google search, let's have a look at some of the results we get. So I guess just a little website here, nothing too big, nothing too fancy, maybe fine. We go down a little more. Here's something from, it looks like a particular news organization. So we get a little news article, great. Looks like we can listen to it as well, and so on and so on. Now, these are not really academic results, but one way to sort of hack Google and make it give you more academic results is by using this file type PDF trick. And what we do when we type this command in, again, all one thing, no spaces, file type :PDF, is we're telling Google, I want you to only give me PDF documents about alligator breeding. So here we go. And let's take a look at some of the results we get now. So it looks like this first result, which is a PDF document, it looks very academic, looks like it's got some great research. Fantastic. Let's have a look at our second one. Same idea, looks very academic, it's been published in a reputable forum, this is good, and maybe let's try one more just to show you what kind of stuff we're getting. So this one looks maybe a little more popular, but again, published by a reputable organization and a good quality result. So again, that's a really quick trick, this file type PDF, to get Google to give you sort of more academic results than it might normally. All right, now this next trick is something that when I'm searching Google, I use almost every time in some way, shape, or form. And this trick involves getting Google to actually search for the words or the phrases that you're interested in. Now listen, Google is a great tool, don't get me wrong. It does a lot of things really fantastically. But one thing that kind of annoys me about Google is that it will sometimes decide it wants to search for different terms than the ones you've actually put in. And this can be really annoying. So let me show you an example of how this might work. let's say you've got a neighbor and his name is LeBron Jones, and you want to get some information about LeBron Jones. You type in LeBron Jones, what does Google do? First thing, right off the bat, it asks you, did you mean LeBron James? And by default, it searches mostly for LeBron James. Now, this is not very useful to you because you're looking for LeBron Jones. If you want to force Google to search only for the words LeBron Jones, you can put quotation marks around it, and that will tell Google suddenly, no, you may not search for LeBron James, you have to search only for LeBron Jones. And we can see, first of all, we get a lot fewer results when we force Google to search for the words we're actually looking for. But now, suddenly, all the websites we get are, in fact, about LeBron Jones. Let me show you another example using LeBron James. So let's say we want to find some search results about LeBron James being a bad basketball player. He isn't, but maybe you think he is for whatever reason. So we type in LeBron James as a bad basketball player, we get a bunch of results, and the first result there says, is LeBron James really a good player? That's not what we want. So what we have to do is force Google to search for the phrase bad basketball player specifically, and we can also put quotations around LeBron James to make sure that it searches for LeBron James specifically. When we do this new search, we get a lot fewer results, predictably, and if we go down, suddenly now we're seeing the phrase bad basketball player appear in each of the search results that we get. And if we look at that one from complex.com right at the top, it talks about the worst basketball players in the league. So again, the quotation trick can be really useful for forcing Google to give you the exact, precise search results that you really want. All right, now for the final trick of our basic searching techniques using Google. This trick involves forcing Google to give you results from certain dates or certain periods of time. Now, typically when you do a Google search, Google is biased towards giving you more recent results, and usually that's great, but there are ways to force Google into giving you even more specific types of dates and time ranges. In this example, I'm searching for the Pizzly bear, which is of course a hybrid between a grizzly and a polar bear. And just like in a previous trick, we learned that quoting Pizzly bear can be very useful, so I'm going to do that for this search as well. Now, if we scroll down our list, we're going to find that we get websites or results from varying periods of time. So for example, we've got one from 2014, there's another from 2014, right below it we see a 2016. These are fine, but maybe, again, from my research, I want something super recent. And in order to get that, I can go to the right-hand menu there, and specifically the Tools menu, and I can select different periods of time that I would like my results to appear in. So in this example, I selected only stuff from the last year, which is great. If I want to get even more recent, I can select only results from the last month. And again, now my results are all very, very recent. Now, if I was looking for websites from a particular range of time, I can also do that by clicking a custom range. So in this example, I'll say I only want results from 2018 through to 2019. And lo and behold, all my results are now from that 1 year period only.